I felt that I needed to do this. It was in my spirit to do this. It's been a minute since I talked about the Warrior Code, and I think I talked about it briefly on a couple of lives that I did like years ago. And had a great Detroit after dark for two. You know what I'm saying? Now it's time to kick back and relax. And I want y'all to listen to the Warrior Code because this is also what I, fuck with. I grab my truth from this also. You know, outside of listening to Earl Watts, that mean Earl Nightingale, Alan Watts. Sorry about that. I mix their names up sometimes. As I listen to them mostly, but Earl Nightingale, Alan Watts, Carl Jung, Machiavelli, Friedrich Nietzsche, you know, Bobby Hemmett, Brother Panic. Listen to a couple Phil Valentines a couple times. Jordan Maxwell, David Icke, Biggest Secret, Credo Mutwa, you know, Sun Tzu, you already know, and Miyoto, well, Miyamoto Musashi, Bruce Lee. We're gonna get off into the Warriors Code, the Samurai Code also, so this is gonna be a quick live, only like 30 minutes. It might be a little less than that, I think, if I speed up a little bit, but hope y'all enjoy because, outside of the revolutionary shit, I'm into, just the spiritual side or the metaphysical side. And plus, it helps sharpens the blade for me being out there on the battlefield as a warrior, as a true revolutionary, you know, so, and plus also when it comes to the revolutionaries, I forgot to mention Robert F. Williams, Stokely Carmichael, you know, Huey P. Newton. But let's get off into the Samurai Code.
Get beyond love and grief. Exist for the good of man.
You heard that? Let's go. Let's smoke a blunt.
Get beyond love and grief. Exist for the good of man. Truth is not what you want it to be. It is what it is, and you must bend to its power or live a lie. Accept everything just the way it is. The purpose of today's training is to defeat yesterday's understanding. Even if a man has no natural ability, he can be a warrior. Nobody is strong and nobody is weak. If he conceives of the body, from the head to the sole of the foot, as a unity in which a living mind circulates everywhere equally. Also by training, you will be able to freely control your own body, conquer men with your body, and with sufficient training, you will be able to beat 10 men with your spirit. When you have reached this point, will it not mean that you are invincible? See to it that you temper yourself with 1,000 days of practice and refine yourself with 10,000 days of training. Do not let the body be dragged along by mind, nor the mind be dragged along by the body.
The samurai always has to rise and move on, because new challenges will come. Your mind is your best weapon. This is the unwritten samurai code known as the Bushido. It is the guide for the samurai in life, battle, and death. It was the unwritten code of principles and morals and taught the samurai self-control and the proper use of their sword. The Bushido Code's values on life, in keeping one's honor, loyalty, and compassion towards others are all things we can learn from and apply to our everyday lives. Here are the 8 virtues of the Bushido. Mercy. Be acutely honest throughout your dealings with all people. Believe in justice, not from other people, but from yourself. Courtesy and good manners will always be noticed. One with the power to command must know how to demonstrate love, sympathy, and affection for others. These traits of benevolence is the highest quality in the human soul. Respect. True warriors have no reason to be cruel. They do not need to prove their strength. Warriors are courteous even to their enemies. Warriors are not only respected for their strength in battle, but also by their dealings with others.
I needed some inspiration for how to wear them, so I asked ChatGPT to help me. It was so useful to brainstorm how to
Others.
Let's hear that again because of the ad.
True warriors have no reason to be cruel. They do not need to prove their strength. Warriors are courteous even to their enemies. Warriors are not only respected for their strength in battle, but also by their dealings with others. Courage. Hiding like a turtle in a shell is not living. A true warrior must have heroic courage. It is living life completely and wonderfully. Perceiving what is right and not doing it reveals lack of courage. True courage is doing what is right. Honor. Warriors have only one judge of honor and character, and this is themselves. You must earn the respect of others. It is not given. After respect is earned, you can bring honor to your name and reputation. The sense of honor, the vivid consciousness of personal dignity and worth, must be characterized in the samurai. Compassion. Through intense training and hard work, the true warrior becomes quick and strong. They develop a power that must be used for good. They have compassion. They go to help others at every opportunity. Justice. Justice is a core value of the samurai. When warriors say they will perform an action, it is as good as done. Nothing will stop them from completing. What they say, they do. They reflect on what is fair and uphold the value of upstanding moral character. Without justice, neither talent nor learning can mold a samurai. Loyalty. Warriors are responsible for everything they have done and all of the consequences that follow. They are loyal to all those in their care. Self-control. Warriors abstain from negative temptations. The wrong and right are given, and one should know their difference. To master the ways of the samurai means to have true patience and bearing the unbearable.
The Bushido Code, the guide for the samurai in life, battle, and death. It taught warriors honor, respect, loyalty, and compassion. No matter the number of battles, the number of challenges, the Bushido Code taught the samurai self-control and the proper use of their sword. Keep death in mind at all times. If a warrior keeps death in mind at all times and lives as though each day might be his last, he will conduct himself properly in all his actions. The samurai always has to rise and move on, because new challenges will come. If you embark on uncharted path, infinite secrets will appear at the end. Your mind is your best weapon. The undisturbed mind is like the calm body water, reflecting the brilliance of the moon. Empty the mind, and you will realize the undisturbed mind. Commit to your mind. I know nothing about surpassing others. I only know how to outdo myself. As a samurai, I must strengthen my character. As a human being, I must perfect my spirit. Are you willing to put your name on it? When your opponent is hurrying recklessly, you must act contrarily and keep calm. You must not be influenced by the opponent. A warrior is worthless unless he rises above and stands strong in the midst of a storm. Honor may not win power, but it wins respect, and respect earns power. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence is not an act. Excellence is a habit. To be a warrior in life is a choice. You see, the same winds blow on us all, but it's the setting of the sail. The warrior chooses a path that is challenging. A warrior chooses a path where the obstacles are not in the way. The obstacles are the way. A warrior is someone who looks at himself in the mirror and decides that he is the one that he is going to follow. He believes in himself. He believes in where he is going. He will take the uncharted path. He will stand alone, and he will become the best that he can be.
Revolution.
Before Apoquel chewable for allergic itch, giving dogs pills was a battle of wits.
Oh, Maria, I'm...
The best in the mirror and decides that he is the one that he is going to follow. He believes in himself. He believes in where he is going. He will take the uncharted path. He will stand alone, and he will become the best that he can be.
In this code, you will find the way. There is nothing outside of yourself that can ever enable you to get better, stronger, richer, quicker, or smarter. Everything is within. Everything exists. Seek nothing outside yourself. The sword has to be more than a simple weapon. It has to be the answer to life's questions. Perceive that which cannot be seen with the eye. With your spirit open and unconstricted, look at things from a high point of view. Do not try to look for an easy life, because in this world, there is no such thing. It may seem difficult at first, but everything is difficult at first. Accept everything just the way it is. Do not seek pleasure for its own sake. Do not, under any circumstances, depend on a partial feeling. Think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world. Be detached from desire your whole life long. Do not spoil what you have by desiring what you have not. Remember that what you now have was once among the things you only hoped for. Do not regret what you have done. Never be jealous. Never let yourself be saddened by a separation. Resentment and complaint are appropriate neither for oneself nor others. Do not let yourself be guided by the feelings of lust or love. In all things, have no preference. Be indifferent to where you live. Do not pursue the taste of good food. Do not hold on to possessions you no longer need. Do not act following customary beliefs. Do not collect weapons or practice with weapons beyond what is useful. You may abandon your own body, but you must preserve your honor. Never stray from the way, and never fear death. Determine that today you will overcome yourself of the day before. Tomorrow, you will win over those of lesser skill, and later, you will win over those of greater skill. Step by step, walk the 1,000-mile road. You must understand that there is more than one path to the top of the mountain. If you are not progressing along the true way, a slight twist in the mind can become a major twist. This must be pondered well.
Salute, Sensei.
Develop intuitive judgment and understanding for everything. Truth is not what you want it to be. It is what it is, and you must bend its power or live a lie. Accept everything just the way it is. If there isn't discipline, how can there be a true realization of an ideal? See to it that you temper yourself with 1,000 days of practice and refine yourself with 10,000 days of training. No man is invincible, and therefore, no man can fully understand that which would make him invincible. Anger. Control your anger. If you hold anger towards others, they have control over you. Your opponent can dominate and defeat you if you allow him to get you irritated. In battle, if you make your opponent flinch, you have already won. The important thing in strategy is to suppress the enemy's useful actions, but allow his useless actions. To win any battle, you must fight as if you are already dead. Approach the enemy with the attitude of defeating him without delay. Do not let your opponent see your spirit.
What's going on there?
Fran from accounting found out we're celebrating the launch of Fan Cash Spin's bonus round.
Not let your To win any battle, you must fight as if you are already dead. Approach the enemy with the attitude of defeating him without delay. Do not let your opponent see your spirit. If the enemy thinks of the mountains, attack like the sea. And if he thinks of the sea, attack like the mountains. Fixation is the way to death. Fluidity is the way to life. Too much is the same as not enough. Do not regret what you have done. Do nothing that is of no use. Never be jealous. Never stray from the way. Never let yourself be saddened by a separation. Do not hold on to possessions you no longer need. Choose to live by choice, not by chance. You may abandon your own body, but you must preserve your honor. Determine that today you will overcome yourself of the day before. Tomorrow, you will win over those of lesser skill, and later, you will win over those of greater skill. When in a fight to the death, one wants to employ all one's weapons to the utmost, I must say that to die with one's sword still sheathed is most regrettable. Perception is strong, and sight is weak. In strategy, it is important to see distant things as if they were close, and to take a distanced view of close things. Science of martial arts means practicing them in such a way that they will be useful at any time, and to teach them in such a way that they will be useful in all things. One must make the warrior walk his everyday walk. Do not waste time idling or thinking after you have set your goals. In time, all things work to your advantage when you pursue them with an open heart. With your spirit open and unconstricted, look at things from a high point of view. No man is invincible, and therefore no man can fully understand that which would make him invincible. Even with complete and thorough study, there is always the possibility of being defeated, and although one may be expert in a particular form, mastery is something a man never stops seeking to attain. Today is victory over yourself of yesterday. Tomorrow is victory over lesser men. Do not regret what you have done. As far as I'm concerned, I regret nothing. Aspire to be like Mount Fuji, with such a broad and solid foundation that the strongest earthquake cannot move you, and so tall that the greatest enterprises of common men seem insignificant from your lofty perspective. With your mind as high as Mount Fuji, you can see all things clearly, and you can see all the forces that shape events, not just the things happening near to you. When you have attained the way of strategy, there will be nothing that you cannot understand. You will see the way in everything. You should not have any special fondness for a particular weapon, or anything else for that matter. Too much is the same as not enough.
I want to put a number in your head. 283 trillion.
Much. Thing that you cannot understand. You will see the way in everything. You should not have any special fondness for a particular weapon, or anything else for that matter. Too much is the same as not enough. Generally speaking, the way of the warrior is resolute acceptance of death. Get beyond love and grief. Exist for the good of man. Truth is not what you want it to be. It is what it is, and you must bend to its power or live a lie. Accept everything just the way it is. The purpose of today's training is to defeat yesterday's understanding. Even if a man has no natural ability, he can be a warrior. Nobody is strong and nobody is weak if he conceives of the body, from the head to the sole of the foot, as a unity in which a living mind circulates everywhere equally. Also, by training, you will be able to freely control your own body, conquer men with your body, and with sufficient training, you will be able to beat 10 men with your spirit. When you have reached this point, will it not mean that you are invincible? See to it that you temper yourself with 1,000 days of practice and refine yourself with 10,000 days of training. Do not let the body be dragged along by mind, nor the mind be dragged along by the body. Do not let your spirit be influenced by your body, or your body be influenced by your spirit. Be neither insufficiently spirited or over-spirited. An elevated spirit is weak, and a low spirit is weak. Do not let the enemy see your spirit. Know your enemy. Know his sword. You win battles by knowing the enemy's timing and using a timing which the enemy does not expect. In contests of strategy, it is bad to be led about by the enemy. You must always be able to lead the enemy about. There is timing in everything. There is timing in everything. Timing and strategy cannot be mastered without a great deal of practice. If you do not look at things on a large scale, it will be difficult to master strategy. Immature strategy is the cause of grief. It is imperative to master the principles of the art of war and learn to be unmoved in mind, even in the heat of the battle. In battle, if you make your opponent flinch, you have already won. Fixation is the way to death. Fluidity is the way to life. Water adopts the shape of its receptacle. It is sometimes a trickle and sometimes a wild sea. If you are not progressing along the true way, a slight twist in the mind can become a major twist. This must be pondered well. Polish your wisdom. Learn public justice. Distinguish between good and evil. Study the ways of different arts, one by one. Never be jealous. Never stray from the way. Never let yourself be saddened by a separation. Resentment and complaint are appropriate neither for oneself nor others. There is nothing outside of yourself that can ever enable you to get better, stronger, richer.
Winning this winter, explained by Fanatics Casino. Fanatics Casino lets you spend for free every day with
you to get different arts, one by one. Never be jealous. Never stray from the way. Never let yourself be saddened by a separation. Resentment and complaint are appropriate neither for oneself nor others. There is nothing outside of yourself that can ever enable you to get better, stronger, richer, quicker, or smarter. Everything is within. Everything exists. Seek nothing outside of yourself. Be detached from desire your whole life long. Perception is strong and sight weak. In strategy, it is important to see distant things as if they were close and to take a distant view of close things. It is difficult to understand the universe if you only study one planet. Whatever your determination or willpower, it is foolish to try to change the nature of things. Things work the way they do because that is the way of things. Never fail to have this attitude of mind. Go forward without hurry. Learn the essence of things through frequent exercises, taking advantage of every occasion. Fight against all kinds of people and be aware of their mind. Be without haste and be convinced that all these practices are the duty of a Bushido. Be victorious today over what you were yesterday. Tomorrow will be victorious over your clumsiness, and then also over your skill. Practice in accordance with what I have written, without letting your mind deviate from the way. When you attain the way of strategy, there will not be one thing you cannot see. You must study hard. If there is a way involving the spirit of not being defeated, to help oneself and gain honor, it is the way of strategy. When you cannot be deceived by me, you will have realized the wisdom of strategy.
It was in my spirit to play this, you know, because I said, like, outside of the revolutionary stuff that I do, excuse me, and plus outside of the music that I do, the other side of the coin is, you know, I listen to Alan Watts, Earl Nightingale, Carl Jung, Friedrich, Machiavelli, you know, Bobby Hemmett, Brother Panic. But I also followed, you know, some Buddhists, you know, some shamanism. But this is the way of the warrior, you know, Bushido, and some stuff from Miyamoto Musashi. And I also fuck with the art of war. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, this helped me, you know, stay balanced. Because when I walk on that battlefield where the revolution starts, oh man, it's gonna be awesome. But I'm making enough music for y'all to have, let's just say, a soundtrack. Y'all favorite song for when y'all go to battle with y'all crew. And then we will all eventually meet up. But till then, I just wanted to play this. And for those catch this on a playback in the morning, I know like YouTube don't be sending out notifications for my channel because I got a revolutionary channel. And when they do send a notification for my channel, it's already 15, 20, 30 minutes into the goddamn shit or the shit about to end. You feel me? So just like now, like it's about to end. So, you know, I just want to make this video quick. Shout out to everybody coming through. Shout out to O Sensei. it's the way of the samurai, the way of the warrior, the way of the Bushido. There was a video game back in the day called Bushido Blade 1 and 2. Bushido Blade 2 was the shit. And it's I think it's like 8 different motherfuckers you get to play with, and there's different sword styles and different swords to use. There's a person with a katana, some with a short sword, some with a broad sword. It's wild. It's wild. It ain't like Soul Calibur. I'm talking about like this was a real samurai game. And like there was no health bar. It's a whole bunch of clean, clean, clean until you find an opening and be like, "Yeah." You know what I'm saying? It was a real true samurai game. So like if you ever like look it up, y'all can type it in the YouTube or the Google, type in Bushido Blade 2, and you'll just, like look at the pictures, see the synopsis of it. I mean, read the synopsis of it. But Soul Calibur, woo-wee. Soul Calibur came out, that shit was beautiful. Soul Calibur 2 is my favorite. Soul Calibur 3 was also, but it kind of slowed shit down a little bit. Soul Calibur 2 was fluid. It was fucking fluid. And like what made it so cold about Soul Calibur 2, depending on what system you had, like depending on what game system you had at the time, if you had a GameCube and you bought Soul Calibur 2, your secret character was Link from Zelda. If you had a PS2 and you bought Soul Calibur 2, your secret character was Heihachi Mishima from Tekken. And if you had an Xbox and you bought Soul Calibur 2, your secret character was Spawn. That shit was fucking cold. People like the game companies actually cared about the fucking people back in the day. Now they're a whole bunch of greedy sons of bitches that want $70 for a half-done game with bugs in it, and you gotta wait months for patches to come in for the shit to go away. And then microtransactions. You want some extra skins? You want some extra character shit? You want some extra story? Pay for the extra story. We call it a DLC. That shit bullshit. When back in the day, if you wanted some secret shit, you had to grind through that game, do some extra hard shit, play on a harder difficulty, probably do some shit like 50 to 100,000 times to get a secret fucking weapon. You know what I'm saying? Or get a secret ending, or get a secret story to play. Sometimes games, like after you beat it a certain amount of times, you get a secret level. You know what I'm saying? It's like now you got to pay for shit. It's like basically paying to win. It takes away the gaming experience. The only thing cool about being online is you playing against people around the world. That was fucking great. It should have stayed like that. Now it's like you do that shit, you get swatted. If you beating somebody ass in Call of Duty, now they're motherfucker find a way to hack your account and IP address and sending feds to your fucking door talking about there's a bomb in the house and you a fucking terrorist. And then when they don't find shit, they realize they got swatted. So, that's some crazy shit. But anyway, back to the Soul Calibur. And also I talk about Soul Calibur. Oh yeah, because of the sword shit, the Bushido. You know what I'm saying? Like I followed this because it's like part of like the way of life. And if you ever want to watch a movie, it's a movie called Ghost Dog starring Forrest Whitaker. It's fucked up how they put some braids on Forrest Whitaker, but it is what it is. But like the motherfucker like lived by the samurai code and he died by it with a smile on his face. It's a hood cult classic. If you haven't caught a movie called Ghost Dog, check it out. But like when I first saw Forrest Whitaker, like it was in a movie called Species. I think it was Species. Species was about the alien bitch coming to Earth and she fucking motherfuckers and she killing them. I was like, whoa. But anyway. But if you want to play a video game, check out the game Soul Calibur Swords. Bushido Blade was on PlayStation. It was on the first PlayStation. But the Soul Calibur, I think the first one's called Soul Blade. That was on PlayStation. Then Soul Calibur came out on PS2, Xbox, and GameCube. Soul Calibur 3 was on, I think, just PS2. I think it was on Xbox too. I'm not really sure. And never played Soul Calibur 4, 5, or 6, if they even have a 6. I think 6 probably coming out. I'm not really sure. But I heard shit went downhill after 3. Only thing they cared about was graphics instead of the motherfucking gameplay. That's why I say part 2 was so fucking fluid. Part 3 was great because of they had like a mode where you can like create your own character, and they had like an RPG mode where you could play with some friends, and you can like go through some shit. They added some modes. I was like, bet it up, this shit pretty cool. But they kind of slowed it down a little bit when it came to the fighting experience. Like it felt kind of heavier. I'm like, damn, like after playing Soul Calibur 2, it was fast paced, it was electrifying. But yeah, any other sword games? Yeah, Bushido Blade, Soul Calibur, and Onimusha. That kind of a sword game. Onimusha 1, 2, 3, and Dawn of Dreams. Dawn of Dreams is my favorite. I love that shit. That shit was fucking awesome. Dawn of Dreams was an epic fucking movie. Like on some real shit. But the first one I played when I was in high school, I never played 2, 3, but I played Dawn of Dreams like in 2008. I was like, 20. I was 20 years old when I played it. Like I thought the shit was awesome. And you have a shitload of swords with different abilities and shit. And in the albums about samurais, yeah, Lupe Fiasco dropped the album called Samurai. The only thing that makes me mad, I wish he had more tracks. That nigga Lupe killed that album. It came out the same year. I think it came out the same year Kendrick dropped that GNX, I think. But like Lupe dropped the album called Samurai, and I thought it was pretty good. He got a song on there called Cake, and I thought that shit was fucking cold. Like the name is kind of suspect and questionable, but shit, dog, it is what it is. It's a cold ass song. Lupe Fiasco, Cake. And like the flow was fucking awesome. And I'm like, oh shit. I remember spitting like that. But anyway, I just dropped a new track called the Scorching Freestyle 2. Make sure y'all check it out. You know what I'm saying? Back on my dark lyric mode, you know what I'm saying? I gotta let the dark lyrics come out like once every blue moon. Like it felt good to drop the God of Fire album, so I could just have a whole album full of me just going dark mode, you know what I'm saying? Because y'all know I'm Hurricane the Style Master. But that style needs to be suppressed. Like, like real shit. I destroy motherfuckers with, like when that hurricane comes out, it's over. That's the God of Fire. You know what I'm saying? Incinerate your fucking soul with the shit that I be saying. You know what I'm saying? So, this is why more like revolutionary conscious gangster rap mixed with horrorcore. Man, I'm a bad motherfucker. But I'm working on a new song. Phenom just sent me a couple beats. I'm working on a track now. I'm up to 8 bars, and I'm experimenting with a style and see how far I can take it, because I'm on a whole new level. Get ready to drop these last albums and shit. I think probably like my last 7 albums, 7 or 8. It all depends. You know what I'm saying? But I think this next project, I'm gonna call it Hurrigeddon. You heard of Armageddon? Well, this is Hurrigeddon. And then I'm gonna drop Retribution and Revenge. Then Manifesto, Kane's Manifesto 1, Kane Manifesto 2. Then the Last Words 1, Last Words 2. And then probably drop some shit called The Revolution. Or just, Hurricane Revolution. Then 2, then no 2. Yep, down to my last 7 albums. Yep, and then I'm out this bitch, and I'll be back to start the revolution. And y'all will have all my music downloaded, MP3s, all my news. You know, I'ma still be making videos, doing my thing, but like it ain't gonna be as much as I, as I do. It'll be enough to, probably how can I put it? I don't know. But yeah. I'm boosting up the second channel, trying to get that monetized on some travel video shit, Hurricane and Vonta traveling around the world, you know what I'm saying? Making travel shit, stopping at foods, places, and the beach, rock concerts, rap concerts, jazz concerts, going to see a classical concert, watch a classic movie, you know what I'm saying? Do some movie reviews, anime reviews, you know what I'm saying? And then rest like a motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? And that's what it's really about. Because I've been on survival mode since I was born. It's time for me to chill. It's time for me to fucking rest. And when I come back, the revolution will begin. Best believe that. Best fucking believe that. But shouts out to everybody coming through. It's your man Hurricane, tell you what it do, giving y'all the warrior code, samurai code of the Bushido. Make sure y'all check out the game Bushido Blade Part 2. And if y'all fuck with Soul Calibur, check out the Soul Calibur. I need to check to see if they got a new Soul Calibur. I need to check out the gameplay and see what the story is. Because like there's 2 type of motherfucking Soul Calibur. It's like the good sword is called the Soul Calibur, but the evil sword is called the Soul Edge. And that's some great fucking characters in there. Raphael, Maxie, Siegfried, aka Nightmare, Ivy with the big titties, Taki, the nice titties. You know what I'm saying? And got some weird characters like Valdo, some other motherfuckers. Mitsurugi is like the samurai, like the motherfucker, like the Miyamoto Musashi type of guy. He pretty cool. But like my favorite characters are Raphael and Nightmare. And when it comes to the chicks, I love Ivy because she got that motherfucking big ass titties and a whip. She's like a dominatrix. She fucking hot. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, shout out to everybody. Oh yeah, and the movies, check out the movie Ghost Dog. But fuck it, if I want to watch another movie, what's another movie? Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, 1 and 2. Yes, they made a part 2. Y'all probably didn't know. It's not as good as the first one, but definitely watch Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I think it's a movie called Hero with the Jet Li. Come on, man. We got some jams out there. We got some fucking jams out there. Once Upon a Time in China. Come on now. Let's dance. I forgot the name of them. There's some classics. But anyway, shouts out to everybody. Just giving y'all some movies, some watch, and some games to play. But this your man's Hurricane. I'm out. Peace. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Everybody's going to watch on the playback.